Portfolio down almost $2,000 today, but it's all good. We're buying heavy. Trump just announced big tariffs yesterday, and we're seeing that in the market today. Amazon is down 10%. A lot of my positions are down 10% plus. SoFi is down 14%. Nike down almost 14% as well. Shopify down 20%. And AMD almost down 10% today, about to hit the $90 mark. ELF almost down 20% as well, in the 50s. So very rough news, but this is a time that makes real investors. If you actually want to make money in the stock market, this is the time where a lot of people sell. This is the time where a lot of people get paper hands and they don't want to be in the stock market anymore. They want to stop buying because they're scared. Money's being lost, obviously. Down almost $2,000 today, almost 12% of the portfolio, but I'm not worried at all. I'm actually happy. I'm enjoying this journey, and I'm actually going to buy a lot more. Come today, come tomorrow, I'm going to, own a lot more shares of these companies that were already cheap. So now that they're this cheap, I'm even happier. I also don't believe that Trump is going to keep these tariffs for very long. I think they will be lifted on certain sectors. I think it was kind of a bold move, obviously. As we can see from the repercussions in the stock market, we can see big names. I mean, I don't know the last time Amazon dropped over 10% in a day. That doesn't happen often. But that's a big position for me, and yeah, I lost a lot in that today. But we can see, I mean, even other stocks like Meta, one that's been up, over and over again, down almost 10% today again. And then Nvidia, actually, big loss for Nvidia. It's in the hundreds right now. It's looking like it might break $100. It's at $100.97, and if we have another red day tomorrow, it's going to drop below that $100 mark, which would be a big milestone for Nvidia investors. That's not a good one. We can see, I mean, down past year to date now, it's down 25%. It's down a fourth of its value. And then we can see other stocks like Amazon. We can see year to date, it's down 20%. That's a fifth of the company's value has disappeared in the year. And then we can see companies that were already cheap, like AMD. This was already cheap from a year. It's down 50%, half of its value. Now it's down a fourth just year to date. And yeah, I mean, these companies are, these are generational buying opportunities. This is, if you didn't get in 2022 on stocks like Meta, if you didn't get in when it crashed in 2022, right here where it bottomed out at $90, this is another chance right now. You're getting kind of a redemption, I'd say, because the stock is worth this much. The stock is worth $750 when it's at its peak, when the economy is booming, which I think it will be again eventually. I think this is a temporary drop. But I mean, the stock, when it's at its peak, is worth $750, and you can buy it right now. You can buy the same company that's worth $750 for $523. So when the price does bounce back up, which inevitably it will eventually, I think that this is a very good purchase. And, I mean, it dropped on this news, which I don't think is going to affect the company all that much. I don't think that all these companies are going to not be great companies anymore because there's tariffs imposed. I mean, their profits may be cut a teeny amount, but I think this is a huge overreaction, and a lot of Wall Street kind of just, moving the market themselves. A lot of them just trying to, propaganda, just stuff like that. I mean, I don't think these are as big of calls as they actually are. I mean, we can see Celsius here. Interesting, actually, that Celsius is only down 2% today and down, 4% including overnight. But we can see that it was almost break even on the day, right here, actually, which is very surprising because there are companies that are still gaining in this economy, which is insane. But we can see Philip Morris, because this company, Philip Morris International holding company, engaged in the business of delivering a smoke-free future and evolving a portfolio for the long term to include products outside of the tobacco and nicotine sector. So this is a tobacco and nicotine company. People don't stop their addictions during recessions. They continue to buy, and I think that's why Celsius isn't down that much. Ultra, even though the market is dropping like crazy this year, big tech stocks are down. This one's up 10%, but I don't think those stocks are going to return the same over the long term that stocks like Amazon are, and that's why I'm still buying Amazon. I definitely want to start a position in Meta, kind of a bigger position in that one. I think that would be great. But I mean, guys, this is when millionaires are made. This is when very wealthy people are created. We can see that, if you invested in 2022 into Meta, you've more than 7x your money when it was at its peak. And even right now, after this drop, you've more than 5x your money almost 6x your money. So I mean that even after the drop, and before that, it was way bigger. It was a 7, 8, almost 9x on your money. So there's a lot of money to be made here still, and I don't think Meta's stopping because of this. I don't think the tariffs are going to ruin the company like the stock price shows. I mean, you can see the drop right here was a little bit more extreme. It was at 380 and went down to 90, but I mean this is pretty comparable. Also, this at 689 and then it went down to 523. That's a pretty good chunk that it dropped. And then we check another company like Amazon, which I'd say invest in right now and always, but we could see this one, kind of at its peak over here in 2021 was trading around 183, and this one got as low as $84. So more than half of the company value dropped, and then we're kind of heading towards that. It's kind of a falling knife right now, all these companies. And then I think Nike actually, I mean, obviously horrible response to the tariff news. I'm down 21% in this one, but I mean, this is a company that has been dropping for a while, and just as it looks like they're kind of bottoming out right here over at the $72 mark, we drop all the way to 55, but it's still the same Nike. I still want the shares for $55 right here. I think we're going to be looking back at this I mean, we're able to buy Nike stock at 2016 prices when it's at 2025 growth rates and 2025 profit margins. I think that this is a deal that you have to take, because Nike's not the same company it was in 2016. This company has evolved a lot, and we can see over that span. I mean, in 2021, they were trading for $170 per share. I don't think that's going to be the highest Nike is going to trade at ever. I think that this is a company that definitely has a lot of growth in store for them in the future. And every stock, I'm going to average down. I'm going to buy as many shares as I can during this recession. This is when you want to buy heavy, obviously. But you don't want to only buy when stocks just keep going up and up and up, because that's how you get caught in a value trap. That's how you lose money, essentially, because those stocks can't sustain that growth long term. So we look at these ones that are already cheap, and I'm down a good amount. I mean, mostly because of today, but yeah, I mean, these stocks are down a lot. And I'm looking at dollar cost average. I hope they stay at these levels for the next 6 months. I hope they go lower and lower. I want to build up my positions in these companies for these cheap prices. I really hope they do, because I don't think these tariffs are going to last forever. And even if they do last forever, companies are going to find ways, to get around them. Or even not that, I mean, they're going to adapt. I mean, that's just what these companies do. They're great companies with amazing management teams. And they're going to find ways, to work around it. And it's going to work out. I think the companies aren't going to, lose what they've been doing. But definitely down a lot on AMD. That sucks to, see right there. But, I mean, that's what I came into this with. I knew that this company could keep dropping. And I'm fine with that. I don't think this company is, I don't think they have much room left to drop, considering their valuation and what their possibilities are. But I'd rather buy AMD for $92 a share than my average cost of $110. So I couldn't foresee it dropping in the future. But now that I see it for this cheap, I'm definitely going to buy some more shares. So I mean, that's how you make money. You invest in these great companies at a time where the market is this low. That's just always how you've made money. I mean, that's how you outperform the S&P, because the S&P, you can do the same thing, but the returns are just, not as multiplied. The multitude of returns is not as great as if you were to invest in a single stock, because you're taking on a little bit more risk, but my risk tolerance fits in that category where I'm okay with that. Maybe yours doesn't, but I mean, even SPY, we can see how much was it down today? Down almost 5%. I don't know the last time SPY's been down 5% in a day. How many days has the S&P been down 5% plus? Let's see. On April 3rd, 2025, today, its biggest one-day loss in value since March 2020. So this hasn't happened since 2020. This isn't something that happens often. Definitely only on big moves. And I mean, we can see right here that the SPY has dropped a significant amount. I mean, even year to date, this one's down, almost 10% like these other companies, but I don't think it's going to bounce back as heavy as these other companies are. And we can even see, I mean, let's check right here with the VIX is spiking because of the volatility. I mean, a lot of volatility in the market, obviously, but yeah, almost up 40% today, because, I mean, people knew that was going to be announced, but they didn't know it was going to be this great. They didn't know it was going to be this level of tariffs being announced. But yeah, I mean, a lot of politics playing roles in the market. But I mean, you can't let that affect you. You got to just invest in these companies as if politics weren't even a thing. They weren't even involved, because at the end of the day, these companies are going to do what these companies, were set out to do, regardless of what the president says or what Congress says or what any of them say. These companies are going to do what they're supposed to do, and this is a perfect time to invest. So if you have a little bit of cash on the sideline, definitely get in right now. If stocks continue to go down dollar cost average, I'd say don't. I mean, if you're an investor, you want to, be getting money pretty often. I mean, you want to, you definitely want to be investing, at least once, twice a month, maybe even once a week if you can. That's amazing. But yeah, I mean, even as we speak, the market's dropping more and more. I mean, this is just amplified, as you can see the price of my portfolio. But yeah, I mean, I'm unfazed by it. I don't care. I think that this is just a greater buying opportunity. I'm going to invest more money. And if you're not at the age of retirement or not close to it, then you should be very happy that this is happening. You're able to buy the same companies with the same, valuation, just for a lot cheaper of a price. So if you're not at retirement age, you should be very grateful that this opportunity is being presented in front of you. So yeah, guys, that's all I have today. I hope that you guys can take advantage of this market drop while it lasts and before it starts going back up. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be sure to like this video if you enjoy the content, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Comment down below what kind of videos you guys want to see. I appreciate the support. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.